Hey everybody, so this is one of the books I purchased. I just got it a while, been waiting for it for a while. The Songs of the Earth. Jonah Bey mentioned it in one of his videos where he was telling the brothers about how we were already here, which we all know that. So I got it. I've read the book up to the famous page that he reads from, and I really get the sense that the people we call Native Americans are, in a way, they are trying to redeem themselves. There was some of the songs that they write about where they're asking the Father to recognize them and recognize their children. I just got a feeling that they're trying to do the rituals and the rites so that the Creator would look upon them. I don't know what they did, wink wink, but I think that's interesting. You'll get I'll see if I can find some of the pages and I'll read it to you and see if you guys feel the same way. But I found this famous page that he reads from. Here it is. Now, I don't know why he does it, why they put this page here, because that doesn't look like, I mean, maybe the woman in the back of the boat, but they kind of blur her out. But check this out. It says, hold on, there we go. Whoa. We are black, yet if we're cut ourselves, the blood will bleed red. And so with the whites, it is the same. Though our skin is white, though their skin is white, I am of another nation. When I speak to you, you do not understand me. When you speak to me, I do not understand you. Like I said, I'm sorry about the camera being all blurry. Like I said, it's from the book Songs of the Earth. I finally got that. And I purchased this because I wanted to learn more about King Philip and the whole Lenape. Still in the earlier chapter, but one of the things I thought was interesting right off the bat is that they point out that something we don't see at all. Alright. Earlier part here. See where it says 6 Indians to hear the charges and accounts as necessary as the custom when a person on trial was an Indian. I thought that was just right there, something to make a note of. Whenever an Indian was supposed to go on trial, there was supposed to be 6 of the people who were non-Indians and 6 of the people who were Indians if a crime was committed against a non-Indian, right? And I think it's interesting because they stripped us of that completely by us being labeled as property, black, and African. We don't have that a trial of our own peers. And think about all the injustice that they've allowed to go on. Just look at all those cases in Mississippi and Alabama where they were just able to just ramrod us and just kill us with, no immunity, just an all-white jury. So, I mean, that's something that, I want to try to put in writing, that if I ever am accused of anything, I want 6 of my own people there to also hear it. So, like I said, I'm still in the earliest chapter of this. Just reading about some of the names of the Indians that they bring up. I stop and look them up, and got it. Found them on behind the name website. Winnebago, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Is where I keep, the tribe that they mentioned. A lot of their names keep going back to, and I just sat here and started reading through some of the names, which came really interesting. There's one here. And there's also, his name was James, but he was a Winnebago when his name was James, and he was a Patuxent leader who was also, significant in some of the Indian stuff. There was another one down here that they mentioned. Where was it? Oh, this Swazman, name of a praying Indian, which reminds me of a Levite, right? I mean, all Indians were supposed to pray, but listen to this: whose assassination literally led to the King Philip's Wars. And remember, that's what was the Spanish were doing. The conquistadors, they wanted to find out who your medicine men were. They want to find out who your witch doctors were. They called them, and medicine men, and they would kill them because they felt like once they killed them, the belief that you had a protection over you was gone. And then we've seen this one. We were looking up the negative names that they have for so-called African Americans, so-called blacks. So, I mean, here's some names that, just going back to, some native roots, to look at. One of the things I've been learning over the weekend was if you take my father's last name, for instance, Cooper. You take that, you flip it around, because, right, as Hebrews, you're supposed to read from right to left, not left to right. Now, if you flip it around, this is what's crazy. The name for Cooper, when you flip it around and read it from right to left, is actually, it says Jewish, but we know ish means to be like. So I thought that was interesting. I've been flipping names around to see what they mean, backwards, and all that. And here was another one down here. See that? So a lot of times when they're like, oh, you need an African name, you need, so on and so forth. I was just thinking maybe it's possible just to go back and grab, an ancestral name. Now, I do know Hebrew, from what I understand, we're not supposed to have vowels in them. But I just thought it was still interesting that, could we go back and grab, some of these names and, start attaching them to our last name. Just a thought. I don't know how that works. Probably people, in the comment sections going like, you can't do that. So let's have a dialogue and figure out why. Here we go. Let me see here. There's another thing I ran across. Just trying to read about the earlier Dutch that settled in New York. I ran into this painting. All right, now it's in, what is it, German? This page is, and I haven't been able to find the translate so I could translate it. But I want you to see this. When it was on my phone, I found it and I translated. Now look, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 of your so-called Negroes. You have the you have the statue of Apollo. He is sitting on a throne, and you want to know how you can tell he's sitting on a throne? Look at that seat that he's sitting upon. Look at his earring. Look at everybody around him. Look at the symbols of Christ, and I'm not sure what this is, but that's partially a symbol of Christ. I don't know what that is over there, but look at them, and look at the different ones. There's your Arab, right? There's your Englishman. Looks like they brought somebody to do some beheading. That dude over here look like he is pissed the you-know-what off. Like, how dare you listen to these fools over here? I want to show you something. Look at this. They redid the photo. This is the same photo, redone, but look at the man sitting on the throne now. Look at his throne. Look at that. Everything else in the background. Look at the lion up on the top of the corner. Dude there, right? When you pull it up, you can get the translate. You'll see that they'll actually tell you that the statues of Apollo, and this is what that photo back there was, the remix of it. Look at that. And then I found, what was this? This one right here. Another one of that same harbor from the same dude. Which, my phone's doing a cruddy job of showing you this. But it seems like this dude is the only dude with color. This woman right here in this wonderful dress, this woman back here, they all are people of color. He's the only one that looks like he's a Caucasian. But I just ran across this when I was just trying to find the image I was showing you here, going back through here. So I'll leave everything, if I can, in the description box. But yeah, so some of the stuff I've been working on in my spare time, along with the name change. So, all right, take care, everyone.